It's just crazy that they thought of giving that to a football team. Today on DNVR Broncos Live.
That's a real cold open.
That is. Not even Kyle Shanahan can keep Dre Greenlaw from his destiny as a Denver Bronco. We dive into that. Who's going to be a captain? And Henry quizzes me on what jerseys are available for purchase at the stadium. Let's do it. DNVR Broncos Live on Tuesday here. And should be a fun one.
Hope so.
Should be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So I had this hot streak where I was just betting on the Avs whenever they were at home because they always won. Now they've lost back-to-back games, and the Rockies had a really devastating loss.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, there's no daytime baseball today. So it's been really nice being able to go home and write with the baseball on. But I don't know. They'll get better.
Yeah, so I went to the Avs game.
Yes.
It was a really good time until they blew that lead. But I also had Cale Makar first goal scorer, and that was such a big win for me that I almost forgot that the Avs lost.
Wow.
Which sometimes the opposite happens, and that's the worst. Like, I actually don't bet on my teams to cover spreads anymore because there's such a high chance that your team wins the game and you have like this weird empty feeling that you didn't win your bet. So I don't do that anymore.
I've been going heavy on the money lines. Like, honestly, I might be 6 months in to just like
strictly money lines. Basically
all money lines. Where it's even like things like the Stars last night playing the Kraken. It's like I'll take the Stars money line. Like I trust them to win that one. Or Are
you parlaying these or straights?
Yeah. You should, because you parlay like two of them to get plus 100. Third one gets to like plus 250. It's like, oh, there's a good bet. And then maybe like bet something on the Avs or Nuggets, and two good bets for the day.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Bet against the Sharks. That's been my big move.
Against the Sharks.
Yep, they're terrible.
Does that make you a shark?
It might. We'll have to think on that one.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Some interesting stuff kind of trickling out from yesterday.
Yes.
Where do you want to start here, Hank?
Let's start with the headline.
Okay.
Dre Greenlaw. So we should give credit to the Denver Post. They had a great story a couple days ago, basically saying,
who wrote it?
His name is Luca. He's new on the beat.
New guy.
Luca Evans, I want to say. I haven't met him.
Used to cover USC, I believe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never met him yet, so I don't feel bad.
I feel like I've seen some good stuff coming out from him.
I have as well, I would say, especially this one, where what he had to say was that during the tampering period, the Broncos negotiate the contract with Dre Greenlaw. They figure it all out. They're all set to go. The next day, the 49ers really want Dre back. And so Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, the GM / like VP of football stuff, fly to Dre's house in Texas and try to convince him. And he still sticks with the Broncos, which is interesting.
It's more than interesting to me. It's really illuminating. A lot of times there's this feeling that you got this free agent because the team that had him didn't want him anymore.
Yep.
And there's always like a little thought in the back of your mind that's like, well, why didn't they want him? You know, it's just kind of the same thing that happens with the transfer portal, where it's like, well, if this guy was that good, the other team would have found a way to keep him unless they changed coaches or whatever. Like, and the same thing I think is true of free agency, where there's always this, oh, well, yeah, he was injured, and then the 49ers didn't want to sign him.
Yep.
This is the opposite. And not only did they make an effort to sign him, but the fact that they got on a plane to fly to his house, first of all, is some real NBA shit.
It really is.
But second of all, to me, raises my Dre Greenlaw excitement like 2 levels.
And I'd add, it also, unfortunately, I wish they'd done the same for Talanoa Ufunga. It's not like concerning that they didn't, but they decided like they probably could let him walk. But definitely, like the fact that they're willing to try this hard to keep Dre Greenlaw is pretty crazy. And Kyle Shanahan was talking about it this morning. So a bunch of Broncos people spoke yesterday. The 49ers guys going today. He said it was the first time that they'd ever gone through something like that, going to somebody's house trying to win them back. He said we would have done that in the past if it came down to it, but when you're going through the recruiting part and he commits to someone else, we wanted to talk to Dre face to face. He happened to live in Texas, so it was a little farther. We couldn't meet him at our facility, so John and I wanted to fly down there and talk to him and give ourselves one last chance. Okay, two things. First of all, Mike Kliss, shout out to him for tweeting this out. Some typos in there that really tied me up.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It was early for everybody. And then here's another one, maybe a little bit more illuminating. He was asked, why didn't they just try to lock Dre Greenlaw up sooner? Mm-hmm. And he said, we tried to. There's negotiating tactics, and it's not just one player at a time. You're working 20 different things at a time. You're trying to get a backup tackle. You're trying to get a quarterback. You're working at linebacker. You're working all these positions, and they just don't go in order. You're negotiating with agents, and sometimes you see something on Twitter just like you guys saw, and then we'd still like another shot and took another shot, and we weren't able to get it done.
Shout out Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah.
And did you see the thing that came out recently of him? Let's see, it was from Luke Evans.
Yeah.
Who said, this is Dre Greenlaw at 15 years old. After adopted dad Brian Early and Early's family took him to a water park, noticed the shirt. His adopted dad brought up this pic when they were talking through Greenlaw's free agency options. He said, man, it feels like it's destiny.
Yep.
I think Dre Greenlaw was like, felt a calling to the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
And also maybe wanted a fresh start. Maybe didn't think that the Brock Purdy plan was going anywhere. If I want to get real conspiratorial about it. But is that a word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This fires me up, man. Fires me up that the Denver Broncos won a free agency battle against a team that's been to 2 Super Bowls recently.
Yep.
And that usually the incumbent team has a big advantage.
Totally. Yeah, no, it really is shocking. Like, it just shows that things have changed a bit. I think it was Sean Payton, one of the two of them, who said, like, we think that part of the reason we're able to get some of these guys, first of all, like, we made the playoffs last year. That helps. People like living in Denver. That helps. But also, Bo Nix was really good as a rookie. And that's the kind of thing that gets players to want to come play for your team. Like, it's so easy to see, like, what the vision is here, what the future is here. Whereas, like you said, like the 49ers, what is their path to the Super Bowl? Like, maybe it's Christian McCaffrey gets back to himself, all those old guys are themselves, Brock Purdy manages things. More than likely, though, I think they kind of have to tear things down and then build back up before they have a real shot at it.
Yeah, I agree. Isn't it wild that football and hockey players both really love Denver, but basketball and baseball players don't really?
It is. That is, yes, it is very strange.
Because, you could just go around town and, like, there's a decent chance you're going to cross paths with a former Bronco.
Yep.
They all live here.
Yep.
If you ever go to, like, an Avs alumni event, it's, like, packed.
Yep.
There's dozens.
Yeah. Eric Lacroix, for example.
Exactly.
Lives here, works with us.
Yes. And,
Avalanche.
like, has a bunch of friends.
Exactly.
That used to play here, whatever.
But no Nuggets. Like, it's always like big news. It's like, oh, look, Fat Lever's back in town. Yeah. Or like David Thompson's back in town this weekend.
Yeah.
And you're always so excited. But you're right. Everybody, all the Avalanche, all the Broncos, they just live here.
There's no, like, Peyton Manning who's just, like, at every Nuggets game in a box.
No. It's crazy that Peyton, he really is at every game. I think there were a couple this year where I didn't see him, but typically he comes out the same way that we wait for media stuff. But it was basically every week. Just like, oh, there goes Peyton with, like, 7 little preteen kids. Like, yeah. But yeah, to have Peyton Manning at every game, crazy. But that just doesn't happen for most teams, and it also doesn't happen for the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Very odd.
Maybe Nikola will stay.
Nope.
I kind of think so.
He will be on the first flight to Sombor after he retires.
You don't think there's an appeal? So, like, what? Daughter's 3-4 now. He plays another 6 years. You'd have to stay here another, like, 8 or 9 years to give her, like, the full American, like, education. Yeah. I think there's an appeal there. Let her grow up in the same place.
Yep. Nope.
Nope, we're not. Okay.
The only thing that'll keep him here after his retirement will be if there's a parade a couple days afterwards.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Maybe property. Maybe he's like, okay, well, if I ever come back to the States, it will be to Denver, like come for a week or so.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason for him to sell his house.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like he'll have plenty of money. Doesn't really matter, I guess.
Ivan Cruz said Mello. I mean, he's definitely not.
He definitely does not live here.
Coming back to Denver.
No. He's not the one I want either.
I think I've heard Birdman is still around.
Yes. There was a court case. It wasn't like
so
that.
bad. He was like extorted.
That was a separate court case.
Okay.
But yes, he was extorted. This time, I think he might have gotten extorted again, actually, separately. But yeah, like it was something to do with like a pancake shop, I want to say down by Cherry Creek, that he was like co-owning or.
Okay.
So he's around though, is the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anthony Carter still lives here.
Earl Boykins was living here for a while.
Earl Boykins, really?
I haven't heard from him in a while.
Meanwhile, but then you hit the Broncos list. And it's like, I'm pretty sure Champ still lives around here. I could be wrong about that.
No,
Is that wrong?
So, yeah.
Terrell Davis lives around here. Peyton Manning, John Elway, obviously.
Mark Schlereth.
Mark Schlereth. How many Hall of Famers? So Steve Atwater.
Yeah, Todd Davis, Benny Fowler.
Todd Davis, Benny Fowler, our guys. No Sean and Jarrell.
Yeah. Hall of Famers.
Gary Zimmerman probably doesn't.
Haven't seen him around. Carl Mecklenburg should be a Hall of Famer, and he lives around.
Are we missing any Hall of Famers? I guess like John Lynch is now.
I don't know.
Nuggets definitely don't have their Hall of Famers.
No. All right. Any other thoughts on this?
Nope. Just that it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
It's a fun story.
I guess like take that.
Take that, 49ers. Yeah, we took all your players.
You and I think, are on the same page that the 49ers are no longer a Super Bowl contender.
Yep. Not anymore. Not since they lost Dre.
That was the end for them. All right. Before we move on, let's hit a quick break here. And tell you about our friends over at Bet365, where last night I got myself a nice little win. Told you guys off the top. Cale McCarr, first goal scorer, a nice big hit. Needed it badly, but that's what it's all about. And for me, it was like, I'm going to the game, gotta have something. Shout out to my boy Bryce's girlfriend, Elizabeth. He called her up. She has like insane betting instinct.
Huh.
And so he called her up and was like, first goal, who you got? She said Cale. Like this is like on the heels of multiple times on Saturday, like after Thursday and Friday of a golf tournament, he's just like, here's the leaderboard. Who do you think's gonna win? She's hit it like 3 times.
That is crazy.
And she doesn't always pick the leader. In fact, she never does.
Huh.
Anyways, shout out Elizabeth. Shout out Bet365. Just take sports to another level for me. Just a little extra skin in the game, a little enhancer from your sports experience. And it's pretty great because you can get $150 in bonus bets when you use the code DNVR365 over at Bet365. It's a beautiful deal. And what I like about it is you can deploy the bonus bets in any way that you want.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, oh, you get, 6 $25 bonus bets. It's like, no, you just have $150. You can do whatever you want with them and just check the little bonus bet box, and then you pull from that instead of your normal account. It's great. Get over, use the code DNVR365 at Bet365. Of course, you must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
And shout out to Monarch Money. If you're like Ryan and made a bunch of money yesterday and you want to hold on to that, Monarch Money can help. Or like me. So my apartment building used to have $8 Rockies tickets. And so you could, deal. Yeah. And so it was only the upper level, but when you get right in the middle of the upper level in that balcony, they're like the best seats you can get because you can just see like every pitch. They were incredible. And it's looking like we don't have those this year. And instead those seats go for like $40. I found a couple games where they're only like 32. So I've been trying to figure out how to manage that. Like there's like the ballpark pass. There's like all sorts of different stuff in the Rockies. I guess Monarch Money doesn't have those answers for me. But if you're like me and you're trying to be responsible with your money and track what you're spending, like I could probably track that I saved like $500 last year because of those. Monarch Money can help.
Monarch Money could probably tell me how bad the dogs have done in the tournament this year.
They could probably tell you that.
I don't know if I want to know.
Yeah. I feel better because there was that one tweet somebody put out after the first weekend about how much money you'd be down if you bet every dog, and it was wrong. And so every time I've seen somebody tweet that number, I've just been like, they're probably all wrong because it really was bad. Monarch Money is the best, though, for whatever money you have left. Monarch Money, they'll help you manage, they'll help you budget. It's not just budgeting, it's a complete financial command center for accounts, investments, goals, all that sort of stuff. And you can get 50% off your first year if you're one of our listeners. Get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use code DMVR at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code DMVR.
All right, let's move along here. Interesting quote that came out about captains as it relates to these free agents. And I think it goes very well alongside this Dre Greenlaw conversation.
Yes.
You want to give us the quote that it was, Henry?
I would love to. And the quote that it was that George Payton said that all three of those free agents are are captain material. Which is interesting. Because it makes you wonder, could any of them actually be captains? And I'm going to double check. But Evan Ingram was a captain for the Jags.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Dre Greenlaw, I thought was, but actually I think I was wrong about that. No, and none of the top pictures that pop up is he wearing the C. And then Talno Funga, you would doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt it with him. So only one real captain, but all three captain material. It's tough when you have Dre Greenlaw, Nick Bosa, and all those guys.
For sure. And Fred Warner.
That's what I meant, not
yeah.
Dre Greenlaw. Yes.
Man, the fact that Evan Ingram was a captain kind of really throws a wrench in the gears of what I was thinking. Also, again, levels up my Evan Ingram excitement a little bit.
Yes.
I was going to say I have Greenlaw as the highest chance of becoming a captain. Do we know how many captains Sean Payton likes to use?
I think he did all 5. 2 offense, 2 defense, and special teams.
Okay. So Bo's 1 on offense.
Yep.
That's done. You could see Cortland. You could see
Quinn was last year.
I was going to say a few guys on the offensive line. I think it's going to be hard if you have Bo and Quinn already there.
I agree.
To like unseat one of them.
I agree.
Then you go to the defense. Who are the defensive captains?
Alex and Pat.
Okay. Again, kind of tough, but I would say because Alex didn't play it all last year,
it's a factor.
His spot is like more up for grabs.
Yep. Pat will be a captain.
Yes.
There's no way around that. So his spot is definitely more up for grabs.
And who was the special teams captain?
Will Lutz.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm going Greenlaw. Greenlaw number 1, most likely out of that group to be a captain.
I'd say so too. I think so too. You know, Evan Ingram being a captain, you have to remember it's the Jaguars.
It's true.
So like who else? It's like, Christian Kirk, is he a captain? No, let's give it to Evan Ingram. Because he earned it. Like great guy, but also competition not so stiff.
Also, one more question on Sean Payton's captains that I'm going to keep pressing this further until you finally say, I don't know.
Okay.
Does he decides or team vote?
I don't know.
Okay. By the way, Zach and I always
It is a team vote. I think it is a team vote, but yeah.
Zach and I always theorize that the team vote was actually just a facade and the coach just tells them who they voted for.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that could be the case. I think we asked Todd about it, and Todd was like, there's no way that would work. But it's also, I don't know if I buy that.
What do you mean? Of course it would.
Well, because
no one's like auditing this.
If the defense votes for the defensive captains, there's 25 of you. And the 25 of you get together.
They're not going to do that.
But you don't think there's a conversation? Like I think,
only if it's egregious.
So here's what I'd say. I'd say like in high school, you vote on like the superlatives and stuff. And everybody sends their vote in, and then afterward you go to your friend and it's like, wait, who'd you vote like best smile? Or who'd you vote like for,
Yeah.
I bet those little conversations happen. And I think that you could get to the point where if somebody wins that wasn't actually elected, you might have an idea.
Dion, when you played, was it a team vote for captains on your team?
Yeah, we would all have like a piece of paper, and then we would write down like 3 or 4 names. I think. I can't remember.
Right, 3 or 4 names. Did offensive players also vote for defense?
Yeah.
Okay.
We voted for everyone.
That's interesting.
And then did you guys afterwards like talk to each other about who you voted for?
Kind of, but most of the time it felt pretty obvious. Like it was like,
Yeah.
Okay.
you voted for this person, you voted for this. Like we all voted for the same thing.
Yeah. Because
That's
like
what I
it's
was
like,
gonna
oh,
say.
it's Steven Montez, the quarterback. It's Laviska Shenault, the first round pick.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
The thing is, like, for me, the only way that there's ever any like further discussion, because Dion said it was pretty obvious, is if someone got it that everyone was like, there's no way. Like they didn't like the team like actively didn't like them.
Mm-hmm.
There was one I remember, I think this all started when Trevor Siemian was named a captain, like right after he got like won the starting job, and it was just like, huh. Like
You still have Demarius.
yeah,
You still
there was a
ha-
lot
yeah.
of like tenured guys there, and it was just like, do we think that like a majority of the players voted for him over these guys? And that's when this whole kind of conspiracy theory started. I do think though that if the coach was like, I need the quarterback to be a captain, I'm just gonna say that he won, then there wouldn't be all that much uproar unless the quarterback wasn't liked.
Yeah. No, I think that might be the case. Who's to say?
So then who would you put second?
I'll go Ufunga.
Yeah, I was gonna go that way too.
Yeah, I think that's next most likely.
I really hope that Evan Ingram like proves this wrong and snags a captain spot. That would be really exciting to me.
That would be fun. That would be very fun.
Every week my like Evan Ingram expectations are raising. Like finding out that he's a captain, I'm like, oh, like I kind of didn't realize he was built like that.
Yeah. No, I think it is fun, especially like yesterday hearing Sean talk about it for the first time. It's like talking about like the inner triangle and those mismatches. And then so I wrote the story. You should go
Really
check
quick.
it out at thedmvr.com.
You should.
And also check out our top 100.
Yes.
Yes.
Broncos top 100.
Yes, top 100. This is a sidebar, but
You were involved in that heavily.
I was involved. Yes, I was involved. So what we did, Dre every year makes a top 100 big board just because he's like a draft sicko.
Yeah.
And he's done it for 15 years now, maybe.
That's a lot.
At least a decade.
I'd say 10.
Okay, let's give him 10. He's a young man. So what we did is we took his big board and then me and Dre spent a couple hours changing it to fit the Broncos with my opinions added because there are a couple guys he likes way too much. But we stacked the top 100. So like the Broncos are on the board. Here's like who they should take. That is up on the website. And on top of that, it also has like full scouting reports from Fran Duffy, our guy. It has there's like some videos, breakdowns, player comps, all sorts of different stuff. So you guys go check it out. If you're not a diehard, become a diehard.
There you go. Great plug. What were you writing about again?
Oh yeah, Evan Ingram. And so you go back through and like, because Sean's talking about the shell coverages, which are like those big zone coverages. Your corners drop, you get safety over the top, and basically they just don't let anybody throw deep. And so how do you beat that? You beat the linebackers in the middle of the field. And going back and like watching a little bit of that Bills game, you're like, yep, if you just had somebody who was right here, could have looked a lot differently. And that's Evan Ingram's job, is just to get open underneath. And like Sean was saying, like he's good against man, he's good against zone, he's fast. You can get him the ball short and let him run. He really is a really good football player. And going into the perfect hands.
Yeah, I just keep getting more excited about this. Like, you know, this is a very me thing, but the fact that he chose number 1,
Yep.
that just like says something to me.
Yep.
And
First tight end since at least 1973.
first tight end ever, I'm calling it.
I'd probably.
It just says that he's like really, really confident and excited about what's about to happen here.
Yep. I mean, if you're him, how could you not choose the Broncos? Like when Sean goes up to you and just says, yeah, like, so here's what we did with Jason Witten and Jeremy Shockey and Jimmy Graham. Like, here's how we think you fit. We have this massive hole at tight end, and we just would really like you to come solve it. Beyond that, like, it's also kind of a hole at receiver. Like, we're hoping the young guys keep getting better, but there's nobody really to steal the targets, and you're in a situation where we can kind of Brock Bowers you and just say, yep, our offense is the Evan Ingram offense, and we're just going to get you open right here. If they double you, triple you, then congrats. It means you're having a great season.
Swinging back to the first segment just for a second here. Is Sean Payton an elite recruiter?
Sure seems that way. I mean, he has like that old school kind of like, I don't want to say like grimy type of vibe to it, but like there is some of that to
Football-y
him.
for
Exactly.
I think he is. And
I
I
think
think
so
it's
too.
a feature of Sean Payton that we were not aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Like last year, it was like all the excitement over like, okay, now he has a quarterback that he likes. Here's all the things he's doing on offense, and he's designing these game plans that are so great for Bo Nix. Like, this is awesome. And now we just get a whole new thing. It's like, okay, now that he has a winning team and he can go out and convince guys like, you're the difference between us getting, what we did last year and getting to a Super Bowl. He's like, I mean, he beat out John Lynch and Mike Shanahan.
Totally.
Or Kyle Shanahan.
Yes. Wow. I wonder how Mike feels about it. Mike wants wants what's best for his kid.
Yes,
He's not worried about
for
the
sure.
Broncos.
I mean, probably has like a little
Number 2 Broncos.
Yeah.
Yes.
What a sick new Sean Payton feature that we unlocked.
It's a great one. And just while we're on topic, George Payton did throw out there that maybe they missed on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
He was asked basically like, how reaffirming is it that players choose to come to Denver over offers from other teams? He said, it's always nice when players want to be here. Now, we didn't get all of our players, but we feel good with where we're at. And then kind of goes on from there. I wonder who they didn't get.
Well, they kicked the tires on Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
They apparently kicked the tires on Stephon Diggs, which is shocking to me.
Well, again, their tire kicks being like, we'll pay you a third of what you wound up getting.
You still lose that deal, in my opinion.
I would agree. I don't want Stephon Diggs.
They obviously, Zach kind of reported a lot about the linebacker position.
Yeah, Nick Bolton, who
they really wanted Nick
never
Bolton.
hit the market.
They wanted Zach Bond. They wanted
those 2 deals before they were allowed to talk to him.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they didn't talk to them, but
that's true. So you're saying maybe that doesn't count?
I don't think
they
so.
didn't get.
I don't think so.
Interesting.
Like they lost Riley Dixon. They lost Brian Anger, the punter, and now they have a hole at punter. Maybe that's what this is.
I mean, if you're a true football guy like George Payton, like,
that
that still is in your head.
Anger.
Yeah, like we missed out on that punter.
That's got to be.
How does a punter not choose Denver?
I don't know. Do you remember where he went?
No.
Oh, I was gonna offer you some money if you did.
Cowboys?
There's no way. He was with the Cowboys.
Okay.
Went to. Oh wait, no, it is the Cowboys.
What was the money you were going to offer me?
Oh, he stayed with the Cowboys. Okay, so that makes it more acceptable.
Yeah, it does. It does.
You lost out on a guy who stayed with his old team.
I feel like the top free agent punter should always want to come to Denver.
Yeah.
And I also feel like the top home run hitter should always want to come to the Rockies.
Yeah. Less so, but still agree.
But it just never happens that way.
Well, especially when like it's actually easier to hit home runs for the Yankees.
Yeah. Or like the
And
top
they're the
kicker should
Yankees.
want to come to see you. That also never happens.
Yes. Yeah. Who's the punter?
Shout out
Buff's had
Mason
that good
Crosby.
Punter. Yeah, shout out him. We were all really fired up about. Went to Utah.
The kicker.
Oh, kicker. No, it was kicker. Yeah, because all the
Yeah,
punters
it's
have been
Cole
Australia.
Becker.
Cole Becker. Yeah. Yeah. Deion's
He's
kicker.
good.
He was good. So they did get that one. But that's the thing about kicking rankings is there's like so many of them.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's like 10 different guys who are the number 1 kicker in every class.
Why can't like one of the recruiting sites just hire a specialist so we can just like frame it in the same way?
Exactly.
Because they're like, oh, Chris Sale says he's a 6-star kicker.
It's like, what the hell does that even mean? But
Come
he's
on,
always,
bro.
and also that means he's the 5th best kicker. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's a problem. Should we hit those jerseys
Let's hit the jerseys. On the other side.
on the other side?
After we tell you about our friends over at Game Time. Game Time is honestly the GOAT when it comes to buying tickets on your phone. I really don't even use any other app for it anymore.
Yeah.
Game
I've stopped
Time-
checking.
Exactly. I was gonna say, like,
Yeah.
Game Time has been so reliable for me that I used to be like a big price shopper. I would have like 3 tabs open, all the different places. And my favorite part about Game Time is the all-in pricing switch, because
Yes.
once you're living in an all-in pricing world, you can't go back to
No.
another world.
No.
Because you just open the app, you look, and you're like, is this number in my range? If yes, send.
I've gotten to the point where it's like, if Lexi will say like, oh, tickets are like $45. I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. And then she'll say later on, it's like, okay, with the fees, it's like $70. I'm like, in what world are we still including fee? Like, we're not including fees and prices.
Yeah.
Game time changed the game.
Allie would say that that's girl math.
Interesting.
Like she wants to tell me the price that she knows I'll say yes to, and then later be like, oh, but there's also these extra fees, and like she's kind of banking on the fact that I'm already mentally in.
Wow. That's really tough.
Yeah.
That's terrible. We need to one math. Let's all just come up with one math. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, see, I do the same thing sometimes.
Do you?
But I'm doing it to myself. It's less manipulative.
Okay, that's fair. Just one math. For
anyways, download the Game Time app, create an account, use code DNVR for $20 off your first purchase of already the lowest priced last minute tickets. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DNVR for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
DNVR Broncos is brought to you by UC Health, the preferred partner of athletes in Colorado. It's actually where more athletes go than any other Colorado provider. That's where I went, so, add one to the tally. So also
non-athletes.
No. So let's see. It's Lexi's idea. We are eating healthy. I guess there's no end date, but the start date was yesterday.
Good idea by Lexi.
Yeah, really good idea. We will be eating chicken and fish every night. Yeah, just kind of ongoing.
You should get Factor. It makes that a lot easier.
Yeah, I honestly probably would. Instead, last night was a tough one in terms of the cooking. The food came out great, but there was a long process that was... Because like the chicken breasts were so fat, and it's like you got to cut them in half, otherwise they won't cook. And then, it turned out great. It's going to continue to turn out great, and I will turn out great because I will stop eating all of the foods I typically eat for dinner, which are barely even foods. You go to another country and show them like what I eat for dinner, and they probably say like that's
plastic.
That's not food. Yeah, exactly. That's not something you should eat. So that's how I'm going to be healthy. Also going to the gym. Oh, this is a side conversation. So
save the side conversation for after the UC Health.
UC Health, they're the best. Learn more about living like there is a tomorrow. Go to uchealth.org for more info. UC Health, live extraordinary. Also, stay tuned for more info after this little graphic goes away. Okay. So I need something to watch at the gym. Whenever I've been really good at going to the gym consistently, it's because like I'll have a TV series or something that I'll only watch it at the
Allie
gym.
Does this too.
And it sucks because me and Lexi just started watching 24.
Never heard of it.
Incredible show.
What? Who produces this?
No, TV did. It's from like 2008. It's not like a Netflix.
Oh, it's the show where each episode or each season
it's real
is 24
time. It's an hour.
hours.
It's the first one. Like there's terrorists trying to kill a presidential candidate and all this other stuff.
Jack Bauer.
Jack Bauer. That's damn right.
Yeah, I never watched it, but I had friends. They were really hyped up about the Jack Bauer Power Hour. That's what they called it.
Oh, wow, I might be in on that. Well, and the problem was, so I turned it on thinking like, okay, this is a spy show with outdated technology from like 20 years ago. Good chance Lexi's gonna watch one episode and then be upset that I even suggested it. Turns out she really likes it. And I realized halfway through the second episode that this would be a great gym show where if you just like, you get on the bike and you just watch it and that's the only place you watch it. But point is, I need something to watch to entertain myself. And I'm out of options. I'm out of ideas.
Have you considered YouTube?
YouTube doesn't. So my thing about YouTube, this is going to be a bad ad for us.
Yeah.
Sometimes I watch a video and be like, history, like here's how the Spartans conquered whatever back in the day. And I'll watch it and I'll get to the end and think, I don't think I believe a word this guy says. Like, I don't think he's credible. Now, we are credible, unlike most people on YouTube. You can listen to us. But that's why whenever I get to the end of the video, I just think, I don't buy it.
You should be looking for more like entertainment, like a TV show, which you're not like leaving the Jack Bauer Power Hour being like, that's unrealistic.
Okay, that's fair. That is fair. But those are the videos that always pop up, or it's like the Peloponnesian. Like
I've become a huge Bob Does Sports guy.
Okay, I've heard of this.
Which is actually just a golf channel.
Okay.
That evolved from a sports channel. But they just like play golf against each other. They do crazy challenges on the golf course or whatever. And like when I go to the gym, I just throw one on and it makes the time go by way faster.
Okay. Prison Break is a decent. I've heard people like that. See, is it? See, my thing is I need I need like an intensity. The thing about
Suspense.
24 is that like it gets to the end of the episode and you're like, oh, I just have to watch another. And that's what keeps you on the exercise bike for another 40 minutes. You know?
Wow.
Like
So you'll double up.
Yeah, no, because back when I was in really good shape, it was because I would do that often. That was like when the second Space Jam came out. I hadn't seen the first Space Jam, so I was like, oh, going up to the gym and watching Space Jam on the exercise bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pretty much exclusively watch YouTube at this point.
Sounds like our YouTube watchers are also big YouTube watchers.
Yeah, that's
which is in
pretty
hindsight really
obvious.
does add up. Yeah. Okay. We'll circle back if there's any good ideas in there.
All right, let's just knock out. You want to talk
Jerseys.
Jerseys.
Yes,
Okay.
it'll wrap up the whole captain conversation. So there was a tweet recently that I found on my phone. I must have. I wish I had pulled up. But essentially, it was the Broncos store, which is on the internet here somewhere, and they tweeted out the pictures or a picture of the jerseys that they have for sale right now. And I want you to guess which jerseys they have posted.
How many jerseys?
There are, oh, got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players.
Oh, I think this should be easy.
I would think so too.
Okay. Bo Nix,
Yes.
Cortland Sutton,
Yes.
Pat Surtain,
Yes.
Dre Greenlaw.
Yep.
I'm going to call this one Talanoa Hufanga,
Yep.
Nick Bonito.
Nope.
Oh, no. How do you not have Nick
You
Bonito?
were flying through that. I agree.
It's a good number, good name.
Totally.
Garrett Bowles.
Nope.
Okay. Zach Allen?
No.
Oh my God, the disrespect.
99 is a pretty good number too.
Alex Singleton.
Nope.
Am I off here? Like,
I
should
think you're
have
right.
guessed this person by now?
Maybe. You probably should have.
Okay. Riley Moss.
No.
Who are you saying?
Sherfield. Nope.
No, that would be crazy.
That would be.
Um,
Come on. Not Vele?
did I say Quinn Miners?
No, you did not.
Quinn
He
Miners.
is not one of them.
Oh my God.
I know.
Evan Ingram.
Yep, Evan Ingram's one.
Jeez.
And then there's one more.
That is the one I needed to.
There
get.
is one more. Oh, so many people listen to the podcasting like, wait, did this just freeze?
Sorry. Audric Estime.
No. Marvin Mims.
Okay.
Yeah. But I thought that was interesting. Ingram, Pat, Ufunga.
Dang, I
Nix,
really thought I was
Greenlaw,
gonna nail that.
something.
At least I got the first 5 quickly.
I think again, I think Nick Bonito is deserving. You know, I think Singleton kind of is deserving. Quinn Miners, like those are jerseys that you see often when you go to the stadium. Again, like there's a chance there's like another rack somewhere, but having been to the team store, I don't think so. I think there's like a rack with like Elway, Champ Bailey.
Yeah. Those ones are sick.
Kind of interesting.
It's very interesting,
Also-
and Quinn Miners has to be on there.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the other one that I said that we were like, how is that guy not on? Nick Bonito.
Yeah, I would agree.
And Zach Allen.
Yeah. You get like big guys wear jerseys too. Like Evan Ingram, a cool jersey. You're not going to see a big guy wearing a number 1 jersey. It just doesn't really like.
No.
Yeah. It's interesting.
As much as I want to be that guy,
Yeah.
there's just something about the one number. You just need a little more coverage.
I agree. And I wound up with a Michael Tolia jersey anyway because I was like, you know what, you
At
got
least
to do
it's
it.
like a fat number.
But what I wanted, they said Seth Halverson wasn't going to be the Rockies' closer.
Uh-huh.
It turns out he is. And if I had known he was, I would have gotten the jersey.
Wow.
54.
Never gotten a pitcher jersey. Oh, no, I have a Kyle Freeland.
Yeah.
Never gotten a reliever jersey before.
Yeah, but a Halverson jersey, if he's as good as we think, like coming in 9th inning, that could be electric. But this is a Broncos show.
There's something sick about like a big guy wearing an offensive lineman jersey. Like I respect it a lot.
And even anybody wearing a Quinn Miners jersey, I'm like, yeah, that's
Ball knower.
electric. Yeah, that's a great jersey.
Yep.
I think those should be for sale. I also feel like this is a bigger selection than I think we're used to from the Broncos. Seems like in the past there've only been like a few jerseys. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, like when I was in high school, it felt like I could go to Dick's and they just have a jersey for everybody.
Really?
Like it'd be like Payton, Demarius, Emmanuel.
Yeah, all those guys are stars though.
CJ Anderson.
Wes Welker.
Yeah, Derek Wolfe. Who else do they have? Like
Vaughn,
that defense.
you
Yeah,
know.
and it was just kind of over and over. Is that all
Chris
it is?
Harris,
It's just
Keith
like they had
Talib.
so many good players?
I think it was
or
just,
has
yeah,
Jersey
that-
culture changed where they're just not making that many different players?
Well, they might have just like ended up with a lot of extra stock of Derek Wolfe jerseys.
They sure did. I remember it. I should have gotten one.
So I think that's possible. I just think if they went to the lengths of getting 3 free agents on there, then also get the like guys who are on the team who are already really good.
How about the All Pros?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe
Yes.
include the All Pros. If you were to buy a jersey from that list, what's the best? I think there's a tie for the top spot.
So the Greenlaw 57 really speaks to me.
I like it.
It's
That
just
was
like
not my tie, but
good name,
Yep.
good number, really linebackery.
nasty player.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like again, kind of says something about you if you put on the Greenlaw
Good
57.
number in history too for the Broncos. Like going back to Tom Jackson.
Yep,
Yeah, it's a good Bronco number.
it is.
I think Pat and Bo have got to be tied for number 1. Like
Yeah,
they're
so-
kind of casual, of course. But
That's what I was gonna say. I have like a thing about jerseys where I don't want to have the one, or at least
Yep.
like I don't have any current Broncos jersey right now. My first one, I don't want to be the most popular jersey in the stadium, which would probably be Bo Nix this
Yep.
coming year.
At the same time, I feel like I want one. Like I feel like I should have like
And
I
that's-
feel like
that's
I
where
should
I've-
have a Nathan McKinnon jersey, you know?
And that's where I've gotten with Mac and also Jokic. Now I haven't gotten the Jokic yet, but like
I've gotten a few.
I have a Jamal Murray. That's the only one I have because it's like, oh, that's the
Also,
Robin.
tough to wear an NBA jersey around.
Yeah, no, that's
Avs game, you throw on the sweater.
I mostly buy these as like collector's items.
Me too.
Maybe like you rock it with like a hoodie to a playoff game or something.
Exactly.
But I just like want to have them for some reason when it's like when all is said and done.
Yeah.
Or like if my kid becomes a big Nuggets fan and it's like,
Yes.
you have a Jamal Murray black skyline jersey. It's like, yeah, you can have it, bud.
Wow. Damn, maybe I need a kid. I think, let's see. I think that's probably it for the jersey conversation. Well, we have 17 minutes.
Let's go through the rest of this stuff. First
Okay.
of all, Tush pushed.
Pushed. The Tush push was pushed.
Uh,
Heated discussions today.
yeah, there's apparently like hallway shouting matches.
Yeah, I can't remember. Oh, I should say who it was. Albert Breer maybe kind of wrote a breakdown of everything that everybody was saying.
He was just watching this.
I think so. Maybe some of it was like from inside the room that from sources told
Okay.
him, but like it was obviously the Eagles kind of against everybody, and the Eagles mostly saying like you guys just don't like it because you can't stop it. Otherwise, this wouldn't be an issue.
Exactly.
I would
what's
agree.
happening.
And then attacking, so the NFL's like top doctor was there saying like there's health reasons for it, and the Eagles said like, well then show us an example of one injury, and the health guy was like, well there hasn't been one yet, but because of the kind of play that it is, when there is
Football
one,
play?
it could be catastrophic. Was his word. Like everybody's heads down, like when there is an injury, think it's going to be like a bad one. And the Eagles again, like that's super hypothetical.
Yeah, and again, it's just football.
You've got Jim Harbaugh in there saying like, well, the rule is written strangely. So what's from stopping somebody from just having 2 extra offensive linemen behind the guards, pushing the guards and letting the quarterback or whoever has the ball just kind of follow them.
Good
It's
idea, Jim. You should have tried it.
Exactly. And so it's like, we have to at least change the way it's written. So there was all sorts of stuff going on in the room. And they pushed it. They're going to talk in May.
They quite literally pushed the tush.
They
push.
pushed the tush push. It sounds
Do you
like
think-
nobody in there realizes how funny that is either.
Do you think this is good or bad for the future of the tush push that it got pushed?
I'll say good. I think
it's
so.
bad.
You need
They
20.
had 16 votes. They needed 24.
They needed 24.
They're trying to take more time to lobby.
Yeah,
Like,
I
have you ever
guess
watched
that's
House
fair.
of Cards?
No, I've heard seen.
That
Oh,
might
is
be
that
your
the
new-
one?
That might be your one.
House of Cards. Interesting.
Like it's all
Reviews
about
in the chat,
trying to get
please.
swing people over to your side. Like
Yeah, okay.
they want more time to swing.
Okay. I could get behind that. That's also just government, but we'll see. Yeah, 24 sounds like a lot for something this contentious.
That's just the rules.
It is. Other rule change too.
This would be really bad if this gets banned.
Okay.
I just think it says something terrible.
It sets a
about the
precedent.
league. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I wouldn't ban it, obviously.
And like they tried to do this last year, but the Eagles didn't win anything last year.
Yep.
Now they win the Super Bowl, and everyone's like, "All right, actually,
Yeah.
it's just soft."
Yeah. We'll see where it goes.
All right, what else we got here?
Hawkeye Technology from Sony. You may know their work.
Yeah,
they are
very familiar.
They're the ones who now the officials can see simultaneous streams of like the different plays that happen when they review.
Mm-hmm.
They put that together.
Yep.
VAR. You ever hear of VAR?
Very, very familiar with VAR.
Yeah. So apparently to soccer people, big deal. Premier League, they use Sony's Hawkeye technology to do all that stuff.
Yeah. They don't have that in the championship, which is the league that my team's in right now.
Okay.
And it's really weird. Because, like, when you're watching a Premier League game, anytime something happens, you're like, okay, well, is this going to VAR? In the championship, it's just like, yep, that happened.
Yeah.
Now we move on.
Yeah.
Kind of nice.
So now 23 of the 25 leagues use it. Like top leagues across all sports. Started in cricket, and that's kind of expanded.
Tennis? Is that how we track the tennis balls?
Tennis, a controversy at the 2007 Wimbledon, which I'm sure you remember.
Yes.
The ball, everybody could see that the ball hit outside the line. They said hit the line, which means in, and they said it was in by 1 millimeter. But there is a 3.6 millimeter margin of error, which created this whole big thing because they're like, well, it's within the margin of error. We can all see that this wasn't. So there was that. But the big picture, it does a pretty good job. That's Hawkeye.
Okay.
That's Hawkeye. Hawkeye now will be placing the ball for NFL refs. So they have like 10 4K cameras, or I think they're 8K cameras now. They'll like pay attention to the ball in every place. They can put it right in the right spot. I'm curious.
This is so huge.
Definitely so huge. I'm curious though, because the thing about all those other sports is all that matters is where the ball is. In football, you also need to know like when is the player down?
Yes.
Because it's not just like a where is it? It's like where is it at this exact point? And I guess maybe you could just have somebody manually stop it when they see the knee is down. But
I've just thought like, and obviously I'm way out of my depth in terms of engineering and science and all that. Why can't we just like, for lack of a better term, microchip the uniforms so that there's a sensor in it that knows when that area touches?
Wow. Could you, so like you'd have to have it in a knee pad, for example.
Yes.
So because the knee is down.
If
your knee hit somebody else's knee, could it tell the difference between the ground and a separate knee?
Sure.
Well, then it sounds like it's perfect.
I mean, I've seen saws that know the difference between wood and a finger.
I've seen those too. If we can do that, what can't we do?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like a good thing. I am curious. Does this just mean like we'll never see somebody review the spot of the ball ever again?
God, that would be so amazing.
Could you imagine?
I mean, I've been pounding the table for this for years because it's just like we're just letting like 50-year-old guys guess where the ball should be.
Yeah.
On every play. In a game that we love to say is a game of inches.
We do. Oh, repeatedly.
And we're just like eyeballing it.
If the margin of error is 3.6 millimeters, is it now a game of millimeters?
Yes. I was actually going to say like 3.6 millimeters will not change the outcome of a football game.
No. Tennis,
in like 99.99999.
Those Wimbledon fans were going crazy.
Yeah. So I'm assuming, has the margin of error gotten smaller since 2007?
It doesn't seem like it. I think in the press release, they still said 3.6.
I mean,
but I'd have to double check.
What's the video? It's a college football game where they do the chain and the ball's very clearly short. The ref just signals first down, like the entire sideline loses their mind. I guess that's still on the table.
Yes.
Anyways,
yeah,
this is something that we needed desperately, was better spotting of the football. To me, this isn't an overstep of technology into the game. This is just using technology to make the game more accurate. And it does look like this is only for. So here's a line.
As on-field officials are notified of the measurement outcome, virtual recreations of measurements are produced in real time for the in-stadium and broadcast audience. The full operational process takes around 30 seconds, saving up to 40 seconds from a measurement with the chains, which makes me think that this is only about plays where
there's a review.
Or where is it a first down or not? Which would be a little bit disappointing.
I really hate. Well, if you gotta walk, you gotta crawl before you can walk, right?
That's true.
So
I've
we're
been told.
hopefully moving in the right direction.
Yes, hopefully. Other rule changes.
How about this one?
Yes,
You can now wear your alternate 4 times.
that's a big one. So last year you could wear it 3 times.
I thought you could only wear it twice.
I think
Broncos only wore it twice.
they also used a blue one once.
That counts.
That counts. That is an alternate.
Well, we got to stop wasting alternate uses.
I would agree. In fact, I might say maybe you just make the throwbacks the primary, and then you can use those as alternates.
Easiest, most popular take.
I really hope that happens someday. So they go from 3 times to 4 times. I would hope that they use the throwbacks 3 times, and you use the blue jersey once. They could use it for like a night game. You could even use the throwback for all your divisional games at home. That'd be kind of dope.
That would be really dope.
Then the other piece of it is that they loosen the helmet rule. So they have their alternate helmets, the white one and the throwback. But the rule was you can only wear an alternate helmet with an alternate uniform. Sounds like that is done. So before that meant white helmet could only be worn with the blue jersey. I don't think have the wording of the rule. What we know is it's loosened. So hopefully that means you can wear the alternate helmet all you want, which would mean you can wear the white helmet with the orange uniform or with the white uniform. So you get to take advantage of how modular. That's what they like to say. It's a modular uniform.
You wrote in here loosened helmet rule. I just thought that meant you could wear your helmet looser. I was like, that seems like a bad idea.
That seems like a terrible idea. There are guys like that though. Broncos haven't had one in a while. Like a guy whose helmet just pops off after like basically every play.
The one that sticks out to me so much is Mike Anderson once like broke another guy's helmet with his helmet.
He was dope.
Yes.
And he was right after Terrell Davis, right? I don't think there was any. That's right. So I think that
Landis Gary was in there.
exactly
Somewhere.
being in that post Terrell Davis, pre Clinton Portis spot really hurts a legacy.
I was gonna say what really hurts the legacy is anytime one of these guys went down, just another star appeared.
True.
Like,
yeah.
You know, if Mike Anderson's out, then just like a new guy comes in and also has a great game, and it's just like, okay, well, like, you know, we talk a lot about system quarterbacks. Not saying Mike Anderson was a system running back.
No.
But it seemed
sure we're a bunch of those running backs.
It seemed like everyone was a system running back.
Exactly. Kind of like the 49ers now. Just like, yeah, you put somebody back there, they're gonna give you a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reuben Jones.
Yeah.
Quentin Griffin.
Yes.
Anyways, I'm just excited about more throwback uniforms.
That's all we want.
And here's my proposal. Everyone wants that uniform to just make a full-time return.
Yep.
I have one hesitation, but that's okay.
What's your hesitation?
Just never won a Super Bowl with this.
Oh, okay. Because there are some people who say like it's so good, we'll appreciate it more if we don't get it all the time, which I think is the dumbest opinion. Like, where else in life do you say like, oh, this is the best thing to do, but I'm just not going to do it all often?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not going to eat dessert for every meal. Well, yeah, because you'd get diabetes if you did that. Like, there's no downside.
That's true. I remember my mom used to say like, if every day was Christmas, no day would be Christmas, and I would be like, see,
I don't know.
I think I'm in on every day being Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would actually be a great thing.
Like, I just wake up and get to open gifts every single day. Yeah, sign me up.
And I get that there's like another perspective where it's like, well, then you have to spend all the money on the gifts
Yes,
and like
but
also
me at 8 wasn't thinking
and
about
these
that.
are the uniforms. Like, there is no downside at all.
So here is my proposal.
Okay.
In the end, money drives everything, right?
Yes.
Don't buy any jersey other than the throwbacks.
Wow.
And if they go back and they look at their numbers at the end of the year and they're like, wait, we sold 0 of our regular jerseys
true.
and hundreds of thousands of the throwbacks, like how much money are we losing out on by not just making those the primaries?
Yeah. Well, what they'd really think is like, oh, people don't like these jerseys. So why should they be our jerseys? Why not the throwbacks? You can vote with your dollars.
Hopefully next year they say like they move this up to 5 or 6. and then they allow you to introduce another one, and then we can introduce the roads.
The road ones are so good.
Certain player, like imagine Pat Surtain in the road.
Oh, did you see the tweet? There was a tweet last week. I even quote tweeted it and said, I've been trying to tell everybody that the road throwbacks are actually better than the home throwbacks because the blue on the number just pops in a ridiculous way.
So good.
We need to make that happen.
By the way, I have a solution for my Super Bowl hesitation.
Okay.
You just bring in a navy blue version of these jerseys. That's your new alternate.
Okay.
And then you convince yourself that it wasn't that the jerseys were holding you back. It was that there was no incorporation of navy that was holding you back from winning Super Bowls. Now you continue the navy thread. Super Bowl's still on the table.
Yeah. I just want these so bad. Could you imagine? They look so good, and everybody knows they're so. And they even the ones that they wear now, like the new not throwbacks, they aren't bad. And I feel
I like them.
One of the things Damani Leach said was like, yeah, those are kind of my baby. Like I made these uniforms, and like we're proud
Damani,
and we
if
like
you're listening. I told
totally
everyone to stay away from your baby,
and that's why I brought it up. And it's like I gotta kill his baby, but also like it's not because it's a bad baby. It's just because like you look at the other options.
we can only have one baby.
Like if we gotta rank these babies, one's gotta go. And it's not because he did a bad job with that baby. It's a good job. It's just that you happen to have something that's so much better.
Yeah,
and nothing could compete.
it's true.
He did a great job.
You do have to pick a favorite child. Everyone says you don't, but you do.
Yes, the NFL makes you.
Yeah.
You get 4 games in one, and you get the rest of the season in the other.
Also, no, like people saying like, "Oh, that's like making me pick my favorite child." I think that's a BS phrase. I know you guys all have favorite child.
There's no way you don't.
Favorite children. Yes.
Especially like at any given time, because I'm not like the child expert, but it sure seems like if you have, I'd say 3 children is the tipping point. Where just at every point in time you have to hate one of them. You know, where it's like one of them has to just be driving you insane.
You guys, I just know you guys are lying to yourselves if you say you don't have a favorite.
Can you pull? I sent in Broncos assignments, Dion, those jerseys. See if we can get that in before we get out of here because they look so good. Oh, okay,
right,
cool. Let's hit those.
Gen X says, I saw some rumors on X about wide receiver Wilson trade to Denver. Any truth? Is that Garrett
That
Wilson?
is Garrett, yes.
By the way, I would like to formally and publicly denounce the move made by our social team on Instagram today.
I missed this.
Which was a April Fool's joke about this very thing.
Oh.
I don't support that in any way, shape, or form.
Really?
In fact, I'm anti all April Fool's sports move things.
I got screwed over by one. Okay, we got real quick. I was at a Nuggets game when I was probably 8, 9. And it was April Fool's Day. They were playing the Spurs, and they put up on the big screen, it said the Broncos just traded Jake Plummer, and it was Clinton Portis, I believe, for Donovan McNabb and Brian Westbrook. And I broke down. I was in tears. They ruined my entire day.
I think the post was deleted.
Oh, wow.
So I guess I wasn't the only person who was against it.
Wow. Or maybe they heard you publicly denounce
Well, my
it.
brother-in-law sent it to me this morning and was like, "This is messed up. It ruined my morning."
Oh my goodness. That's terrible. I feel April Fool's jokes like that should you go negative first so people are like relieved.
That's a good idea. Next
Overtime?
one here. We're hitting overtime. If you are watching on your TV, you can see the rest of this conversation over at thednvr.com. Next one from Jose, who says, all due respect to Zach Allen, how many Trevor Price jerseys have you seen in the wild? Big DLs don't get respect. I've actually seen quite a few.
I've actually seen Trevor Price more than I've seen Trevor Price jerseys.
I sat next to Trevor Price at a Nuggets game once. He was
Really?
so nice.
He's so big too. Like, you know, NFL defensive lineman, you don't realize that, like, he's a full 6'6", and like, that's a big dude.
I was like, I don't know, 13. I think he was still on the
Okay.
team. And he just like overheard me and my friends. Like, it was my birthday party, I want to say.
Okay.
And like, we were
That's
just
a good
talking
birthday.
sports like the whole time, but we were young. And he just like turned around and he was just like, geez, you guys like know a lot about sports. And
But
then I
did
was
you
like,
know
wait,
he was?
are you Trevor
okay,
Price?
you did know. Okay,
Yes.
there you go. You did know a lot about
And
sports.
then he got his autograph and all that.
Garrett Wilson trade to Denver. Any truth? Nothing that we know of, but it's just been that rumor that's gone on for a while now. We've talked about it. I don't need to give up all that for him. Give me Matthew Golden. Like, it's probably like a first-round pick, I'd imagine.
According to DNVR Social today.
Oh, yeah. What was it according to DNVR Social?
It was a 2025 first-round pick and a 2026 fourth, per Stevens Zachary.
Oh, that's not his real account. Wow. Yes, give me Matthew Golden. Here's something that might piss Dre off. We're gonna plug tomorrow. We're talking with Andre about our top 100 big board, which you can check out at thedmvr.com. Are we back?
I don't know.
Well,
all right. Well, we've got nothing else to do but wrap this thing up. So
Yep.
if you can't hear us, you'll probably know what we're saying right now.
Yep.
Which is that the show is about
That was a
to
big
end. Zach's back tomorrow.
Yes.
See you guys then.
We all silly like the mayor.